Hey ladies and gentlemen from Multiple Sizes, welcome to my TV vlog on the new movie, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Wow, this movie really made me happy. Honestly, I didn't like it as much as I liked the first movie. The first movie was golden, and I would probably mark it as one of my favorite movies. Not my favorite movie, but probably in the top 5. So what really made the Volume 2 special is... Okay, I'll go through all the parts. So let's start with part 1, the animation. Okay, so the animation in this movie was very nice. It wasn't really animated, but I know Rocket, I think Rocket, but I know 100% most of the effects were animated. I believe Groot was animated, but I really don't think so. And otherwise, there were a lot of gunshots and effects that had to be animated. There's not really much to say about that, but I know they spent a lot of effort, and I just want to give them credit for all the animation deals they had to go through, for all the effects, and gunshots, many of those things. So, yeah, that really made this iconic, sorry, not ironic. And yeah, that's for that. Now, this section kind of buds into my last section, but I want to talk about all the characters' designs. So I know they spent a lot of time designing every character. Rocket has to have his hairy costume and his gun. Most of the characters have them painted, their faces painted, some designs on their hands and their faces. They have to have swords or weapons. And yeah. And other characters like Groot are very hard to do. It's probably stop motion or something like that. So it's really hard to do. Otherwise, yeah, I really congratulate them on that too. Let's talk about the backstory about his mother. I really like the backstory about Peter Quill's mother. And I think he did a very good job acting that. I think Chris Pratt did a great job. And I think the backstory with his dad killing his mother is very deep. And him breaking his walkman is like one of the worst parts of the movie, but it's deep. It actually really pulled a tear out of me when he started hitting him. And when he started hitting him with all those rocks, I was like rooting for Peter. I was like, come on, beat him up. Pick up that asteroid and slam him in the face. Because really, you're on Peter's side, because on the next category, you'll find out why I really liked all these characters. And yeah, I really like that backstory. Although I like the story of the first movie more, it was way more action-y. Otherwise, yeah. Okay, let's talk about the bad guys. The bad guys in this movie aren't as bad as the other one. I was expecting Thanos to come back, but I guess Yondu's a very good character, honestly. I really like his arrow, and I really wanted him to come back into the second movie, because he's really a good character, and he's very powerful, really. We have, I forgot the girl's name, the green girl's name, I think it's Andorra or something. Her sister is also the bad guy, but I really like her design. Her design is very cute. Yeah, but the bad guys in the second movie, I expected a bit more from them, but honestly, Yondu's one of my favorite characters from the Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, finally, the characters. The characters are very likable in this movie, and same with the last movie. I was actually telling some of my friends, I was like, the characters in this movie are very, very, very likable. Like, you're cheering for them, you really like them. In the first movie, I didn't like the girl that much. I keep forgetting her name. But, all the characters are good. Even Rocket. I mean, he's an idiot and all, but I love his character. He still has a decent character. He's like Squidward. Otherwise, yeah, all the characters are likable, funny, humble, all that stuff. I really like that girl, Mantis. I really liked her. She was like nice and pretty, and her design was brilliant. I really like her lines and what she says, and her design, really. I like how cute her eyes are. It's so cute. It's like a little baby or something with a bug head. And yeah, the characters in this movie are really likable. Yeah, I really like them, except maybe that green girl. She's really ugly, so I don't really root for her. but especially Peter. Peter's like one of my favorite characters of all time. I can say that right now. And the voice acting. Yeah, let's move on to voice. Not the voice acting, the acting, because I'm used to SpongeBob. The acting in this movie is very, very good. I really like all the famous people they brought here. The director of this movie, I forgot his name because I'm dumb. He really picked very good people to act. He brought Bradley Cooper as Rocket, which I think the voice is very suitable for him. He brought Chris Pratt, which honestly I think is the best Peter Quill. Either him or Paul Rudd, but Paul Rudd would have kind of ruined it, I guess. Chris Pratt really did it nicely, and I really like his face and his mood and all that. And lastly, Groot. Even though I really don't know why Vin Diesel gave up his role for the Iron Giant or the robot or whatever for this. I guess it's because he wanted more money and wanted to be more famous because in this movie. But all it does is go, I am Groot, and groan, which is kind of dumb, honestly, as a movie decision, as an actor decision. But otherwise, they brought very famous people into this movie, and I really congratulate them on that. So, yeah, congrats. Okay, the climax of both movies, honestly, are very good. You can't have a Guardians of the Galaxy movie with a great, big, and death climax, I guess. But they really, honestly, they end with a bang. Like, they end it with a bang. They go like, up the stairs, they kill you, and then they make you fall down the stairs. It's literally the definition of a climax. So, there's either deaths, or there's crying, or there's sad scenes, or there's realizations, or there's savior. So yeah, this movie really jumps at the climax well. I think it's when the bomb ticks and Yondu sacrifices himself. I think that's kind of the climax area, probably. Okay, let's talk about the comedy. I really like how subtle the comedy in both movies are. I really like some not really subtle jokes, like Rocket telling Groot which button to press, and then he's like, "This button? No." And there's not real much comedy in this movie, but with the comedy they get, they really slam it down, which is very correct. It's how to really do comedy correctly, which is obviously the best thing they could have done, which they did. And I really congratulate them on that. Okay, the roll credits are very annoying, because in the movie, in the last movie, and I think in this movie, they both say, you are the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is kind of roll credits, but no words in innocence for that. Okay, so, what else is there to talk about? I am Groot. Okay, yeah, let's talk about Groot. Groot was a very likable character, and he honestly deserved this. Groot is very cute, especially as a baby. I even liked him as character as in the first movie, but honestly, the baby is way cuter and way more naive, which is, I think, one of the better ideas for Groot. I think Groot is a very nice character. He's very funny. He had some comedy. He had most of the comedy in here for all the kids watching in the theater. And yeah, this is a very... So, okay, let me tell you guys my story. So, I went to the movies, right? I watched this in the theater, which I don't do a lot, but, I watched this in the theater, and honestly, this movie was so good, it kept me hanging forever. Honestly, the best parts of the movie were the most boring. Like, not the best, but like the intent of the movie was the worst part. Like, the dad and Peter, I think all the parts leading up to it were all good and all. Like, they still kept me going. They weren't boring or anything. I won't pop that out of my mouth, but they were okay. But compared to Yondu and all those other characters and all the deaths and all those gold people, they're really good. Okay, let's talk about the bad guys. Yes. Okay, this was my first thing, but let's talk about the bad guys more. With the blue character, I really like her voice. I think the voice actor really nailed it there. And I really like her design. I like the shade of blue they went with for her face and her eyes and all that. I think her character is very good, going against the green girl, who I really don't like She's not kind of the character you would want to be friends with. Yondu's honestly the best one, and he turns out to be a good guy at the end, and he sacrifices himself, which honestly is the biggest cliche and one of the best cliches to ever be done, which I don't blame them for doing that cliche. Honestly, it's better off doing it. And last but not least, the Golden People. Oh my god, the Golden People brung out a few jokes. They were really boring, though. The beginning part where they give them the blue girl was kind of annoying. Or boring, sorry, not annoying. But the Gold People, when they were playing all those games, it was very funny. It was like an arcade where kids play games, and then they get frustrated when they lose. It was kind of like a cool reference, I guess. And I don't know, I just thought of that quickly, and I wanted to stick that out. I am Groot. Okay, let's talk about the title, because why not? Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy. I like how they both start with G. I just realized that. Why Volume 2? Why not 2? Like, I know they were trying to go for something new here, and I don't really blame them, because everything in the modern world has to be new. Because there's, honestly, when I think, I'm one of those people who thinks about stuff, really. So, one thing I really think about is, when I go into the future, everything will be invented, so there's no point in me doing anything, or, like, movies will already all be made, so they have to copy old movies, or music will not be made, so they have to copy old music, or names, or planets. Maybe Earth would be a wasteland by then. I don't know, I really think of that stuff, but I don't know why I'm bringing this up now, but I really like how they went with the new title with volume, not series, or just 2, or something like that. Also, I guess it's kind of action-y, and volume kind of relates to the Walkman, so, I don't know, I'm just making inferences. The font is really good, yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, let's talk about the Stan Lee reference in this movie. Stan Lee is honestly one of my favorite characters in Marvel movies, honestly, because he's in every Marvel movie. He just does random lines, but in this movie, he really didn't have any purpose. Like, I know in no Marvel movies he has purpose, but in this movie, he's just like, I used to be an astronaut, and I used to fly like that. Like, it was so random, and honestly, in the theater, I felt like the only person who knew who Stan Lee is, and I knew that Chris Pratt was playing this guy, and I knew that it was blah blah blah, or something like that. So yeah, good job, Stan Lee, but you've done better references before. Yeah. Okay, this movie didn't have as much deaths as, like, say, The Dark Knight or something like that, but it had a lot of deaths in it, honestly, and they did it right. This movie does everything right, from the characters to the acting to the visuals to everything they do. They managed to make it, and all those subplots like Peter reacting to how Rocket is so mean, and Yondu sacrificing himself, and the relationship between Peter and his dad, and the green girl and the blue girl, and Mantis and Drax, and Rocket and Groot and Drax. Like, all of those relationships tie in together into one big happy family. Or other relationships like the green girl and Peter, like love relationships too, and all those little bad guys that come and fight. Like, it's so interwoven now that I think about it. And this is honestly the first time I thought of all those relationships. Okay, I'll count. So there's Peter and his dad, Peter and Rocket, Peter and the green girl, that's 3. And there's Drax and Mantis, that's 4. Drax and Groot, that's 5. And then there's Rocket and Groot, which is 6. Yondu and Peter, I just figured that out, that's 7. Yeah, that's 7 right there, easy. Okay, the last things I'm going to say are, 1, Taserface was awesome. I really love that joke they kept reusing throughout the whole movie. It was really funny. I actually really loved all the reactions, especially the gold girl. She was like, ha 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 ha, Taserface? Yeah, that was really funny. Okay, some references in this movie were obviously Stan Lee, I already talked about. And in the credits, there is a thing that says I am Groot 3 times, which I saw. And there was also this thing that said no raccoons tree creatures were harmed in the making of this feature. And, I knew that. Also, I just Googled it, so, yeah. Okay, who's ready to see the third movie of the Guardians of the Galaxy coming out in? Okay, it says around 2019 to 2020. James, I think his name's James, or John, James Gunn, said that it's coming around 3 years, so either 2019 or 2020. So yeah, that's Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to hit that bell icon beside it to get all the notifications you want from askair. Be sure to check out my second channel. The link is in the description below. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below on what you think of Guardians of the Galaxy. And this is askair signing out. Be sure to subscribe, and peace.